Statement of purpose. The zoning administrator is appointed by the Planning and Economic Development Director and has the responsibility and authority to conduct public meetings and hearings and to act on applications for minor or reduced review authority projects or entitlements. A determination or decision by the zoning administrator may be appealed to the Design Review and Preservation Board, Planning Commission, or City Council as applicable to the decision. All actions taken by the zoning administrator may be appealed within 10 calendar days. If the final day of the appeal period falls on a non-business day, the appeal period will be extended to the next business day. There are no zoning administrator reports, nor are there any consent items, so we will move on to our first scheduled item, which is a public meeting for a community care facility expansion at 2364 Melbrook Way. May we please have a staff report?
All right, thank you. Good morning, Zoning Administrator McKay. I am the project planner for our home residential care facility for the elderly at 2364 Melbrook Way. So this is a minor conditional use permit to allow an expansion of an existing residential care facility for the elderly from 6 residents to 9 residents. The project includes the construction of 3 new bedrooms and will offer 24-hour non-medical assisted living for adults 60+ years, including assistance with activities such as bathing, grooming, toileting, medication management, meals, and daily support. The facility does not offer rehabilitation, mental health treatment, or skilled nursing care, and is required to be licensed by the California Department of Social Services. The project site is located in a developed residential neighborhood north of Highway 12 and west of Farmers Lane. Here you can see the single-family residence, which is surrounded by similar single-family residences. So the project's general plan land use designation is low density residential, which is consistent with the single family residential R16 zoning district. In the R16 zoning district, residential care facilities are an allowed use. Facilities with 7 or more residents require the approval of a minor conditional use permit. So the project, hold on one second. So the project expands housing and supportive care opportunities for seniors while remaining compatible with the surrounding residential neighborhood and consistent with general plan policies that promote housing options, complete neighborhoods, and community health. The project also provides 3 on-site parking spaces, which is required by the R16 zoning district. So here you can see the existing residence. In yellow is the proposed expansion for 3 bedrooms. That's a total of 980 square feet. Operationally, this facility will provide the 24-hour care with limited staffing, no more than 3 staff per day. It will manage residents' move-ins by appointment. It has visitation hours that are daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. There are no large group or commercial events associated with this project. Any residential delivery will occur in residential-sized delivery vehicles during daytime hours. The project will observe quiet hours from 8 p.m. until 7 a.m. and also provide residents with low-impact activities. This project has been reviewed by planning, engineering, traffic, building, and fire, and complies with applicable development standards, including lot coverage, setbacks, and building height. No impacts were identified during review that would support denial of the minor use permit. Just here's another view of the project showing the proposed addition, and this would be if you were looking at it from the backyard towards the street. So the project has been reviewed under the California Environmental Quality Act and is categorically exempt per section 15301 in that it involves the operation, permitting, and minor alteration of an existing residential facility and related improvements with negligible or no expansion in nature or degree of the existing residential care use. The proposed building alterations and additions would not result in an increase of more than 50% of the existing structure's floor area. So staff did receive 2 public comments regarding the project. These involved some questions about traffic and parking, emergency services, street conditions, as well as smoking. And these were addressed through additional information that was provided by the applicant, as well as information that was within the project materials, and no further issues were raised. So there are no unresolved issues as a result of staff review. The applicant has reviewed and accepted all conditions of approval. Staff analysis has concluded that all required findings can be met. And therefore, it's recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator approve a minor conditional use permit allowing the expansion of an existing residential care facility for the elderly from 6 beds to 9 beds at 2364 Melbrook Way. I am here to answer any questions. Additionally, the applicant and their team are here to answer questions. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Is the applicant present and do they wish to make any comments at this time? To your knowledge? Hannah?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is the applicant present and do they wish to make any comments?
Yes, they are here and
Would you like to make any comments?
We don't have any comments.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for being here. You mentioned that the issues raised by the public were responded to with information provided by the applicant. Is that all the information that was included as a response to the email, included as like correspondence?
yes.
Thank you. Are they required to provide any covered parking at the site?
No.
Okay.
So that was determined by Susie Murray when this project was came in, that covered parking was not required, and the zoning code does not specify that covered parking is required. There is reduced parking requirements for residential care facilities.
And the site meets the parking requirements?
It does.
Okay, cool. All right, that's all of my questions, so let's go to public comment. If you're attending in person and would like to make a public comment on this item, please approach the podium at this time. Okay, seeing no one approach the podium, I'll close the public comment. Yeah, this is seems like a reasonable expansion of an existing use. Sounds like whatever issues were raised have been resolved and will continue to be resolved in the future operationally. I read the resolution and the conditions of approval, and I don't have any suggestions or edits or additional conditions. So with that, I approve the project. Thank you. Please note this decision is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department within 10 calendar days of today's decision. For this item, that date is Monday, August 24th, 2026. And thank you. And I did not have any ex parte disclosures on that item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so our next item is a drive-through coffee shop with extended hours of operation. It is a minor conditional use permit and minor design review at 2249 Santa Rosa Avenue. May we please have a staff report? And I do not have any ex parte disclosure on this item as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zoning Administrator McKay. Before you is an application for both a minor conditional use permit and minor design review for the Seven Brew Coffee Shop, proposing extended hours of operation and some site improvements. So at this site, there is currently about a 3,600 square foot, formerly commercial restaurant with drive-through. That's where KFC was. So this coffee shop is now moving into this building and making their own modifications, including reducing the square footage of the building, reconfiguring the drive-through lane, some new landscaping, and as well proposing extended hours of operation, and those hours are from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. This is the aerial view of the project site. This building shares this site with another commercial restaurant with a drive-through. And this is a zoomed aerial view of the project building area and parking area. The general plan land use designation is retail and business services, and the zoning district is general commercial, which does permit restaurant uses and similar uses. The surrounding properties are also both commercial zones and medium density to low density residential zones. This is the site and landscape plan. There are a row of trees that are kind of sitting on the south end of this property that are being proposed to be preserved, which will provide some coverage of this building to the adjacent property. They're also proposing some new trees in between San Rosa Ave and the new building and drive lane. These are the proposed right and left side elevations. And this is the proposed front and rear side elevations. The project has been found to be categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under guidelines sections 15301 and 15303. There are no unresolved issues as a result of staff review. No public comments have been received for this project, and staff analysis has concluded all the findings can be met, and the applicant has reviewed and approved all conditions of approval. So it is therefore recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator, by 2 resolutions, one for a minor conditional use permit and one for minor design review, allow a drive-through restaurant with extended hours of operation, modifications to the existing building and drive-through, and associate site improvements. Thank you. And that's the end of my presentation. I do have the applicants with us via Zoom. They don't have their own presentation, but if you have any questions for them, they're here. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let's just go to public comment. If you're attending in person and would like to make a public comment, please approach the podium at this time. Seeing no one, I'll close the public comment. I do have a question for the applicant. I did try to do a little bit of research to answer my own question, and I couldn't find anything, and it seems like it varies by location. So I'm wondering if you would accommodate bicycles or pedestrians in any way for this project. And if we could elevate them to speak, that would be great. And just to repeat the question in case you didn't hear it, I'm wondering about bicycle or pedestrian service for this location.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Thank you. So I'm Mary Gansert. I'm with Corsades Group. We are the civil engineer and architect for that applicant for the development. So to answer your question, at this time right now, we do not have any kind of walk-in or walk-up service. This model is a drive-through only. We do have other locations that on a case-by-case basis, we can potentially do a walk-up. So if it is kind of strongly urged and recommended, we can certainly look at that option, but at this time, this was going to be a drive-through only facility. Now, for bicyclists, so with the Sunbury model, how it works is the employees are outside walking with iPads taking orders. So if someone were to happen to bicycle and kind of park, the employees could walk over and take their order and then bring it out to them because they do have a pathway that walks around in several doors. So that option does exist as it is currently proposed.
Okay, so the bicyclist hypothetically could use one of the parking spaces that are otherwise pretty much just for the staff and like gesture over to them that they're interested,
Yeah,
but
correct.
they wouldn't go through the drive-through, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
And there are bike racks as well that are existing. They're proposed to remain, so they could also park their car or their bicycle in the bike rack. And then again, the employees are always out there monitoring, so they could walk over and take the order if they need.
Okay. So I guess reasonably, if I was walking down the street and wanted coffee, I could do the same thing, just I wouldn't have a bike. I could just kind of show up and wave, and they could come over and take my order.
In theory, yes, because there are people out there, so they would absolutely take the order.
And then would they have to go through the drive-through to receive their order? Would it be walked out to them as well?
They would not. They could have it walked out to them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I would strongly encourage that. I think the idea of like a car-only facility, as much as Santa Rosa Avenue is incredibly car-centric, I think there's ongoing efforts to open up our services and facilities and our infrastructure to multimodal options. So I think if you / the applicant would be acceptable to an additional condition that requires some sort of service for both bicyclists and pedestrians, I think that would make me feel a lot better.
Okay, yeah, we can certainly accommodate that and have that conditioned and look at an option, and we can, I guess, condition it to be applied before building permit.
Great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Okay, well, that pretty much was my only concern. I think the reuse of a drive-through is great. It already exists. It's better than being abandoned. And they do seem to be quite a successful operation, so this will provide another option, particularly for early morning commuters to get their caffeine fix on the way to work or wherever they're headed. So,
Zoning Administrator McKay,
Yeah.
just to clarify, for that condition, were you suggesting perhaps like a walk-up service window? Or the
no,
order,
just
or-
I think I would like the condition to be worded that as it would say something of the sort like the applicant shall identify a solution that accommodates both cyclists and pedestrian service of products. So if that's, I think they have an existing, like, as they suggested, they could walk in and walk out with the employee could walk out the coffee. So I think that they can come up with something that would comply with the condition that would achieve, I think, what we're trying to achieve.
Kind of like I know that there's kind of like a queue management plan with this, but so maybe like some sort of description or plan of how they would accommodate. Okay,
Yeah, that sounds good.
thank you.
Yeah, and I'm happy to work with you once the resolution comes across my desk as well. Okay, yeah, and the building, it's a building. I can make the required minor design review findings as well as the conditional use permit findings with the additional condition as discussed. So with that, I approve the project. Thanks to the applicant for being here and for being collaborative in our striving for more multimodal accommodation. Okay, with that, please note this action is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department within 10 calendar days of today's decision. For this item, that date is Monday, August 24th, 2026. And that concludes our business for this meeting, so this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.